Good morning, it's December 12th, and this is your daily brief in climate change. Here's everything you need to know. The 28th United Nations Climate Change Conference, COP28 in Dubai, is near its conclusion, focusing on reducing fossil fuel usage. The French delegation is advocating for action, but Saudi Arabia and some allies oppose any reduction. Over 80 countries support phasing out fossil fuels, with the conference emphasizing the need to assist less developed countries in transitioning to clean energy. While progress is being made, challenges include developing accounting rules and reaching a consensus. The latest draft of the COP28 agreement includes goals for renewable energy and energy efficiency, but omits the term exit in reference to fossil fuels. Despite criticism, the draft agreement includes tripling renewable energy capacity and eliminating fossil fuel subsidies. There are concerns that the proposed text does not meet the necessary goals to save the planet, with activists protesting and calling for immediate action. The outcome of the negotiations will be closely watched globally for stronger action on climate change. Severe storms and tornadoes have caused significant damage and loss of life in Middle Tennessee and southern Kentucky, killing at least 6 people and injuring over 60. The storms were part of a larger system affecting communities around Nashville and Clarksville, with Governor Bill Lee declaring a state of emergency. Preliminary results from the National Weather Service confirm multiple tornadoes occurred, causing power outages for 52,000 households and closing schools. The state is seeking federal disaster aid to assist in the cleanup and recovery process, with an estimated damage cost of $3 million in Nashville's Davidson County alone. This recent outbreak of tornadoes in December marks the third consecutive year of significant tornado activity during this month, which may be fueled by climate change and changing wind patterns. The National Weather Service confirmed the presence of a 150 miles per hour EF3 tornado and an EF2 tornado with winds of 125 miles per hour, causing extensive damage. While December tornadoes are not uncommon in the Southeast and Gulf Coast regions, research indicates that climate change may increase the likelihood of tornadoes during cooler months. A recent study from the International Union for Conservation of Nature, IUCN, highlights the critical need to address climate change and biodiversity loss. Dangerous temperatures are predicted to rapidly increase, which will endanger numerous species. The IUCN report states that over 44,000 species risk extinction, with amphibians and freshwater fish extremely vulnerable. Climate change, pollution, overfishing, invasive species, and illegal logging are identified as contributing factors to this crisis. Urgent measures are required to protect biodiversity, such as phasing out fossil fuels, managing freshwater ecosystems well, and preventing the extinction of threatened species. The UK Health Security Agency warns climate change could establish disease-carrying Asian tiger mosquitoes in England by mid-century. These mosquitoes have already spread across Europe due to climate change, posing a risk to public health. The UKSA anticipates dengue fever could be transmitted in London by 2060, with mosquitoes becoming prevalent across England by the 2040s. The report also warns of potential food shortages and an increase in heat-related deaths if climate change is not tackled. Urgent actions, including reducing greenhouse gas emissions, improving housing and flood defenses, monitoring borders, and preventing mosquito breeding at home, are recommended. Targeted interventions and adaptations to protect vulnerable populations are advised, emphasizing the intergenerational impact of climate change. Pacific Island nations like Tuvalu and the Marshall Islands are facing the existential threat of rising sea levels due to climate change. These nations, known as the sinking islands, are the most vulnerable in the world, with some islands already being eroded and submerged. At the COP28 conference, the Tuvalu delegation is advocating for a limit on global temperature rise to 1.5 degrees Celsius and the phasing out of fossil fuels. A draft deal for COP28 has drawn criticism from these island nations due to its omission of language on phasing out fossil fuels. Rising sea levels are causing damage and displacing communities in the Pacific, leading some nations to take measures like land elevation and digital cloning. The Marshall Islands have released an adaptation plan, and Tuvalu has agreed with Australia to accept climate-related migrants. The future of these nations, including their economies, legal rights, and cultural legacies, is uncertain as they grapple with the effects of rising sea levels. This has been your daily brief in climate change. To read more about these stories, follow the links in the episode bio. You can also subscribe to these updates at www.brief.news. And for more daily podcasts about the topics you love, visit www.brief.news/podcasts. Tune in tomorrow. We'll be back with everything you need to know.